All right, so we're going to wrap up chapter 6 here on ratio and proportion. Now this is 6.5. We're American units to metric units and vice versa. So we're doing unit conversions between the two. All right, so we have a few key things we need to have. From American to metric, we can say 1 inch is equal to the 2.54 centimeters. 1 mile is approximately 1.6093 kilometers. 1 pound is approximately 454 grams, and 1 gallon is approximately 3.785 liters. Now notice these are all approximations. Now if I go from metric to American, 1 kilometer is approximately 0.6214 miles, 1 kilogram is about 2.2 pounds, and 1 liter is about 1.06 quarts. Now the key here is, this one and this one, notice one goes from miles to kilometers, the other goes kilometers to miles. You could use only one of them and be just fine. That's the key. And same with the kilograms to pounds, pounds to grams. It's all depends on how you want to work it. So you could use several of them, and so sometimes you're going to get different answers depending on which value you use. So that's going to be a key thing here is you have to use what's given in the problem and rather than something you have memorized maybe. So you might remember that, there's approximately 454 grams in a pound, and instead your problem says you need to use the 1 kilogram as 2.2 pound conversion. So be careful on that. And our prefixes again here, they all are going to be the same as before. If we're going, maybe we have to go from kilograms to grams first, and then after that we can convert to pounds or whatever. But again, we're just going to have our base unit, and then going to the right getting smaller, going to the left getting larger. All right, so we're just going to go through a whole bunch of different examples. And when we do this, then usually they're going to tell us, round to the nearest tenth. And so that's what those parentheses are for. So let's start here. So 42 inches over 1. Well, if we remember on that first page, 1 inch is 2.54 centimeters. And so all we really have to do here is we just have to multiply. And that's because our inches cancel. We're left with centimeters, and that's what we need. Okay, so going back to that, all we have to do is take 2.54 times 42. So 2 times 4 is 8, 2 times 5 is 10, 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. Now 4 times 4 is 16, 4 times 5 is 21, and that's 8, 9, 10. So we have 8, we have 6, we have 6, we have 0, we have 1. And so this is going to be 10668 centimeters. Oh, but we remember something here. I forgot we had decimals here. So we have 2 decimals, so we actually have that value. So see, this is sometimes even I make mistakes. All right, so moved it 2 spaces. We want it to the 10th. Well, that 8 rounds the 6 up, so that's actually going to give us 106.7 centimeters. That makes more sense. And so that would be our value here. So, it's roughly 2.5 times more is what we have here, and that's kind of a good idea. When I saw that big number, I was like, oops, I did something wrong. And that's what it was. I forgot to move our decimal places. Okay. All right, so let's move on to the next one. All right, so, 79 miles to kilometers. So 79 miles over 1. Now we need to have something to convert from miles to kilometers. Now, like I said, there was 2 versions here. We could do 1 mile is 1.6093 kilometers, or we could do 1 kilometer is 0.6214 miles. It really doesn't matter which way we do it. We can just, basically go ahead and do our conversion here. And so maybe, let's do 0.6214. So 0.6214 kilometers is 1 mile. Is that what I have? No, 1 kilometer is 6214 miles. Aha, I wrote it down wrong. And you have to be paying attention to this. So, all right, 1 kilometer is 0.6214 miles. That makes more sense. Because if you have 10 kilometers, it's 6.2 miles, and so that would make sense because that would be what it is. So you just have to be a runner, and then you use a lot of the kilometers to miles you can kind of figure out based on your distances of races. So here we have to divide 79 by 0.6214. So let's write this out, because if we have our miles cancel, what we really have left is kilometers, but the key is we have 79 kilometers. We better put just the numbers, no units, because I'll show you here in a minute. 0.6214. Now when we divide that, we have to move this 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces. So we're going to have to move this 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces as well. So we're really going to take 6214 into that number there. So 6214 into 79123.4.00. Now this one doesn't actually tell us what units to round to, so maybe it comes out even, I don't remember. And so we're gonna take, that probably only goes in there once, and that's 6214. Subtract that off. So that's an 8, that's a 9. So 10 minus 4 is 6, 9 minus 1 is 8. 8 minus 2 is 6, 9, or 7 minus 6 is 1. And now we can bring down our first 0 there. Okay, so 6 times 3 be 18, so it looks like we can't be times 3, maybe 62, 14 times 2. So that gives us 8, a 2, a 4, and a 12. And so we'll put a 2 here. That's going to be 1, 2, 4, 2, 8. Subtract, 6 becomes a 5, so 10 minus 8 is 2, 5 minus 2 is 3, 8 minus 4 is 4, 6 minus 2 is 4, and now I can bring down our next 0. And so now we have 44. If we take that times 2, that's going to give us 4, or let's see, that's not going to be enough, so let's say 12, 4, 28. So that's going to be a 4. So that's going to be 16. That's 4, 5. That's 8. That's a 4. That's a 2. And doubling that would give us 48. So that's too big. So maybe if we only add in one more of doubled here, 12, 4, 28. So that's going to be 6. That's going to be 12, 13, 14, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's going to be 12. That's going to be 7. That's going to be 3. And if we add 6 more there, that's going to be, I don't know what that's going to be. So that's going to be a 7. So it's going to be 8. That's a 9. That's a 4. That's a 13. So it looks like it's going to be a 7. Okay. So that's a 4, a 3, a 4, a 9, and an 8. Subtract that off. I have to go all the way over here. That's 3, that's 12, that's 11. 10 minus 8 is 2. 11 minus 9 is 2. That's a 12 minus 4 is 8. And we don't have anything. So now we bring down our next one, which is 0. That's a 1. So it's a 62, 14. Now we go all the way over here. It's a 7, that's 11, that's 11. 10 minus 4, 6, 11 minus, I guess we could have borrowed there. That's going to be, well, we should have borrowed there. Let's go back and erase that. 8220. 8220. So we borrow it here, and that's a 0. And then that's a 0, and then 8 and 6 is 2. Now we can bring down our that. So it's only going to be 3, it looks like, at the biggest. And so if we say this is to the 10th, then this will not round that up. And so our answer then is going to be 127.1, and we have kilometers. And again, this is just all approximately because we're using approximations. Okay. So again, back to, can we multiply here on the right to see what values we're going to do, and then divide here on the left. All right, 28 yards to centimeters. So we have 28 yards over 1. Now we have to think about what we can do to get to centimeters. Well, if we get to inches, we can convert to centimeters pretty easy. So let's go from yards and say 1 yard is, well, we can go directly. We know it's 36 inches, but if we go to the 3 feet first, and then from 1 foot is 12 inches, and then we can do 1 inch is 2.54 centimeters. Then we've gone from yards. Let's go ahead and cross these out as we go. We've gone from yards to feet, then feet to inches, and then inches to centimeters, and centimeters is what we want. And let's see here what we want to do. Maybe let's go to the nearest tenth again, just because I'm not sure where this is going to be. So multiplying across. Okay, well here we've got 36. So we can take 36 times 28. So 6 times 8 is 48. And that's 24 plus 4 is 28. And then that's a 12. That's 6, 7. So that's 8, 10, 10. So now we have 1008, and then we can take that times, oh, so we've taken those two, so now we take that times 2.54. So 8 times 4 is 32. Then there's a 0, then there's a 4, then there's a 40. X and a 4, so that's 10, 4, 5, 6, 5, 2. And so 2 decimal places puts that there. So if we wanted to, we could write the whole thing out. That would be 2560.32 centimeters. Now, if we wanted the 10th, then that would be 2. Again, these are all approximations. 2560.3 centimeters. So depending on, again, if we wanted all the decimal places, or if we wanted to say round it to the nearest tenth. So that's how we do that. Again, this one was strictly multiplication, and that's all we had to worry about on this one. All right, so the next one we have inches to meters. Okay, so inches to meters. Let's see what kind of conversions we could do. So inches to meters. So we could go inches to centimeters, and then we could go whoop, whoop, to meters. I think that would probably be the easiest and quickest to do in this case. So 251 inches over 1. And then we're going to convert that to the centimeters. And then so 1 inch is 2.54 centimeters. And now at this point, we could do our conversion here, or we could say, well, let's get it to the centimeters and then just move decimals. So maybe that's what we'll do. Maybe we'll forego that conversion at this point, and we will just do this, and we'll have our inches, and then we can do, we've gone from inches, now we've got our centimeters, and then after that we just move decimal places. So multiplying that, 251 times 2.54. What do we have? Well, 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 5 is 20. We have 8, 9, 10. Now we have 5, 25. That's 10, 11, 12. And here we have 2, and then that's 10. That's 4 plus 1 is 5. So it's a 4, a 5, a 7, a 3, and a 6, 2 decimal places, so 637.54. And so now we have to go, here's our base, then we have deci, and then centi, and that's where we're at now, is we're at centimeters. And so we have to move 1, 2 places to the left. So 637.54, 2 places to the left, 1, 2. So that's 6.3754 meters. Now, what do we want this in? Do we want it in the whole thing? That would be approximately 6.3754 meters. Or if we round to the nearest tenth, that's going to round that up to 6.4 meters approximately. So again, depending on if we want all the decimal places or if we needed to round it to the nearest tenth. Okay. All right, so here we got kilograms to pounds. So what we can do is 19.4 kilograms over 1. And if we say there's 2.2 pounds per 1 kilogram, I'll make that an L so we can make sure it's not taking it times 2.21. Now all we have to do is divide. Now remember, when we have the decimal here in the denominator, let's go ahead and, I don't know what I just did there. I just totally wrote everything wrong. Let's just rewrite that. How about that? We want to go and get rid of kilograms, so we're going to go to pounds. And so there's 2.2 pounds for 1 kilogram. Now the conversion will work because now kilogram cancels kilogram. We're left with pounds, which is what we want. So actually we're just going to multiply. So we're going to take 19.4 times 2.2. So that's going to give us 8. That's going to give us 18. That's going to give us 3. And we get the same thing, 8, 8, 3. So that's 8. That's 16. That's going to be 12. That's going to be 4. We move it 1, 2. So that's going to give us 42.68 pounds is going to be how much this weighs. Now, if we wanted again to be to the 10th, that would be 42 point, well, that's going to round that up, 7 pounds. Okay, so that would be what it was. Again, if you left it with all of them and that's what they asked for, then that's fine. If they said, oh, we need it to nearest tenth, then that kind of shows you, how to round to the nearest tenth. All right, now we're going to go to kilograms to ounces. So how do we do that? Well, 2.48 kilograms over 1. Now, I think I'm going to do the kilograms to the pounds again. And so 2.2 pounds is 1 kilogram. Then I know 1 pound is equal to 16 ounces from the very 6.3. And now let's see if we've got everything canceled we need. So we have kilograms canceling kilograms, pounds canceling pounds. We're in ounces. We need to be in ounces. So that looks good. So what do we need to do? Well, it looks like a straight across multiplication. No division needed. So what do I want to do first? Maybe I'll take 2.48, I don't know, times 16. Then I'll take it after that times 2.2, and then I will be done. So 6 times 8 is 48. 6 times 4 is 24, plus 4 is 28. And then I have 12, 13, 14. And then I have 8, 4, and then a 2. Then I add those together. I have 8, 16, and then I have a 9, and I have a 3, and I have to move 2 decimal places, so I have that. Now I'm going to multiply by my 2.2, and so that's going to be 16, that's 12, 13, that's 18, 19, that's 6, 7, and then I have the same thing again. I'll have a 6, a 3, a 9, and a 7. All right, so 6, that's going to be a 9, it's going to be a 12, it's going to be a 17, it's going to be 8, 7, 2, 9, 6, and we move it 1, 2, 3 decimal places. And so that's approximately equal to 87.296 ounces, or if we round to the nearest tenth again, then that's going to be 87.3 ounces. Okay. All right. 1 ounce to grams. All right, so here we're starting with 1 ounce over 1. Now let's go back up and see what can we do to do that one. So ounces to grams. Well, if I get to pounds, I can get to grams pretty easy by this conversion. And so I can do my ounces to pounds, and pounds to grams is 454, and that's the easiest way I think I'm going to have on this case. So I have 16 ounces is 1 pound, and then 1 pound is 454 grams. Now I should have all of my conversions. I've gone from ounces to pounds to grams, and that's where I need to be. So now it's just a matter of multiplying and dividing. Well, 1 times 454 is 454, and then divided by 1 times 16 times 1 is 16. So really all I'm going to do is take 16 into 454. And I'll take it to 2 decimal places again, because then I can round to the 10th. Well, 16 times 3 will give me 48, so that's too big, so I'll have to take it times 2. That's 32. And so that's going to be a 3. That's going to be a 1. Now I can bring down the 4. Now 16 times, oh, let's see, 5, 6, 7, 8 maybe. So that's 48. That's a 12. All right, so then that's going to be an 8. So that's 128. Subtract that. And so that's going to be 2, 14 minus 8 is going to be 6. Now I can bring down my 0. 16 times, oh, let's see, 5's too much, 4, maybe 24. That's going to be 64, so it has to be 3. So we'll have a 3 here. So 16 times 3, that's 18, that's 48. Subtract that, that's going to be a 5, so that's going to be a 2 and a 1. Now I bring down my 0. Well, it's going to be 1 less than that, so it's going to be a 16 times 7. And that's going to be 42. That's going to be 11. That's a 7. 1, 1, 2. Subtract that, that's 8. All right, so we've got enough to get to the nearest tenth. So that's going to be approximately, round that up, 28.4 grams. Okay, and so that would be my answer there. All right, let's go on to the next one. Now we're going from liters to quarts. So now we have to kind of think about which method we want to do here. 50.3 liters over 1. Now there's one where we can do, let's go over here. We can do 1 liter is 1.06 quarts, or what we can do is we can go from liters to gallons and then gallons to quarts. So, it's 2-step over here, 1 step here. So 1.06 quarts is 1 liter. So we know that 1 liter is 1.06 quarts. And so that's a 1-step process. We don't have to do much of anything. We just have to basically take and multiply those two together, and we'll get our answer. So we'll take 50.3 times 1.06. So we're going to have to move our decimal 3 places at the end. So that's going to give us 18. That's going to give us 30. That's going to give us zeros. And so then this one is going to give us a 3, a 0, and a 5. So that's 8, a 1, a 3, a 3, and a 5. Again, 3 decimal places. And if we want it to nearest tenth, that does not round up. So it's going to be approximately 53.3 quarts. Okay. All right. How about the next one? Fluid ounces to kiloliters. How do we want to do that one? Well, we can do fluid ounces to cups, and then cups to pints, and pints to quarts. And then at that point, we can convert to liters. And at that point, we can then move decimal places. I think that's going to be probably a way to go. So let's say we have 56279 fluid ounces over 1. And then with fluid ounces, it's going to be 8 fluid ounces is 1 cup. And then we can go, okay, how many cups are in a pint? Well, there's 2 cups in 1 pint. And then we can say, okay, well, there's 2 pints in 1 quart. And then we can say there's 1.06 quarts in 1 liter. And then after that, we'll have our liters, and then we can move decimal places to kiloliters. So I think that's what I'm going to do. So now we have to take 8 times 2 is 16, times 2 is 32, times that. So if we do all of that, that's going to be 1.06 and times 32. So that's going to give us 12 and then a 2. That's going to give us 18 and a 3. That's a 2, that's a 9, that's a 3, that's a 3, and 2 decimal places. And so we really have now now let's go ahead and make sure we've done all our conversions, right? Fluid ounces to fluid ounces, cups to cups, pints to pints, quarts to quarts. We're at liters, which is what we want because we want to have liters, which then we can move our decimal. So let's write this as our fraction, 56279 over, and then we have 33.92. Now at this point we have to go and we have to move our decimal place here to divide, so we have to move it up here to divide as well. And so that gives us then 3392 into 5627900.00, okay? And we'll leave that much as far as the number of decimal places, because once we think about it, if we have liters, then we have to go to decaliters, then hectoliters, and then kiloliters. So those are all liters. So we're going to move left 1, 2, 3 spaces. So if we have it out here, no matter what, moving left 3 spaces, then it's going to be somewhere, our decimal is going to end up being on this part over here. So we should be okay if we just take it out 1 or 2. All right, so if we take it out 1, that's going to give us 3392. Subtract that off. 7 minus 2 is 5. Now we have to borrow 9 and 3. And then 5 minus 3 is 2. 5 minus that is 2 as well. Now we can bring down our 9. Now 3 times maybe 7. 3392 times 7, that will give us 21, but that's going to give us too many more, so we better use a 6. so 6, and so that's going to be a 12. 9 times 6 is 54, 55. That's 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 18, 19, 20. That looks good. So that's a 6, and so we have 2, 0, 3, 5, 2. Subtract that off. 9 minus 2 is 7. 5 minus 5 is 0. That's 0. That's 2. Now we can bring down that 0. It looks like we're going to have to do a 5 now. 3, 3, 9, 2 times 5. So that's a 10. That's a 45, 46. That's 15 and 4 is 19. That's 15 and 1 is 16. So that's a 5. So that's a 1, 6, 9, 6, 0. Subtract that off. That's a 0. That's a 1. Now it's a 1. That's a 9. So we have a 1 here. 9 minus 6 is 3. Now we can bring down our next one. Okay, 31. Okay, so that's going to be a bigger number. And so we're going to have, well, let's see, maybe 3392 times 7. That was, well, let's try a 7. So that's 14. It's going to be 63, 64. That's 21, 27. That's 21, 22, 23. Okay, that's not enough still. So if we add 3, 3, 9, 2, this will give us 8. That's going to give us a 6. 9, 10, 13. That's going to give us 11. That's going to give us 7. That's going to give us a 2. Oh, if we add another one, 33, 92, that's going to give us 9. So it's going to give us 8, 9, 10, 12, 3, 4, 5, 10, 3, 30, 52, 8. So that's going to give us a 9. So 35, 28. Subtract that now. So that goes here 0, that's a 10, that's a 9, that's a 2, 9 minus 2 is 7, 10 minus 5 is 5. Now we can bring down another 0, that goes in 1, and so it's 3, 3, 9, 2. All right, so that's a 6, that's 11, that's an 8, 9, 10, 11, 6 and 3, and that's a 0. That's a 0 here, and so that's where we're going to stop. And now, like I said, we have to move a decimal 1, 2, 3 spots to the left. So we start with 1659.10, 3 to the left, 1, 2, 3, and we get 1.6591 kiloliters, or if we round to the nearest tenth, 1.7 kiloliters. Okay, so either way, those are our two values, and if they wanted to the 10th, that's what our rounded value is. All right, so let's go to the next one. 13.5 gallons to liters. So 13.5 gallons over 1, 2 liters. Well, this one has an actual direct calculation. We have 1 gallon is 3.785 liters, and once we multiply, we're done. So I'll put the larger one on top, 3.785 times 13.5. So when I get done, I'll have to move it 4 decimal places. So 5 times 5 is 25. Now 42, 39, 18. Here we have 15, 25, 23, 9, 10, 11. Now we have a 5, an 8, a 7, and a 3. Now if we line everything up right, hopefully we'll have 5, a 7, a 19, And that was an 8, 8 and 8, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. There's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's 3, 4, 5. And so we get 4 decimal places, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's going to be the whole number. If we round to the 10th, that rounds up. And so we end up with approximately 51.1 liters as far as our answer goes. Okay. All right. Now let's do one more here. Actually, we're going to do several more, but we'll do one more here next. All right, 56 miles per hour to kilometers per hour. All right, so 56 miles per hour, and we need to get to kilometers per hour. So this is again one of them where we can do that 0.6214, or we can actually use the other conversion and say 1 mile is 1.6093 kilometers. Okay, and that one, if we remember, that was at the very top. So we'll go all the way. That was this one. 1 mile is 1.6093 kilometers. And we could have done this one here, but we're going to do it the other way this time. So we'll do it kind of both ways now. The other one we would have divided. And so now what we have to do is we have to multiply those together. So again, I'll put the larger one on top, 1.6093 times 56. So 6 times 3 is 18. That's 54, 55. That's 36. That's 9. Now we have 15. That's 45, 46. And that's 30, and that's 8. So it's 8 and 10. And that's going to give me 12. That's going to give me 11. It's going to be 10, and that's a 9. And so that should then be 1, 2, 3, 4 decimal places. So that would be 90.1288, or 1208, sorry. And so if we do to the nearest tenth, that does not round up. So that's going to give us roughly 90.1 kilometer per hour, because our miles canceled. And now we're left with kilometers per hour. Okay. All right, so let's look at another one. Now, feet per second to kilometers per hour. So this is going to be a little bit longer one. And that's because we have to do feet to probably miles, get to the miles, and then after that, take that to the kilometers. So 800 feet per second. And we also have to convert seconds to hours. So maybe we should do that first. And we have 60 seconds in 1 minute. And we have 60 minutes in 1 hour. And so we've got to the hours. Now we have feet. Well, now we have 5,280 feet in 1 mile. And then if we want to get to kilometers, and we have miles, now we kind of have to do that, decide which one we want to do. We could do the same thing, 1.6093 kilometers, and do that one. That would be maybe easiest, 1.6093 kilometers in 1 mile. Now let's check and see what we have canceled. Well, feet and feet. And then, well, let's get rid of seconds and seconds and minutes and minutes. We have hours here. And so we've gone to feet. Now we need to go from feet to miles. We got rid of the miles, and now we've gone to kilometers. And so now our final answer is going to be kilometers per hour. Okay. Now what do we have to do? We have to multiply everything on top and divide by the bottom. All right, well, these two multiplied are 3,600. So we're good there. Then we can take that times 800, pretty easy, and then take it times that number there. So if we do 3,600 times 800, And now we have 0, 0, 0, 0, 48. And now we have 24 and 4, so it's 28. So that's a pretty big number. And we're going to take that times this, and so 1.6093 times 2880000. All right, so that's 0, 0, 0, 0. Now we have 24. That's 72, 73, 74. And then that makes that 7 there. And then that's 48. And then that's a 12. And so now we have dashes here. And so now we have same thing again, 4, 4, 7, 8, 2, 1. Now we have dashes again. Now we have 2 times 3 is 6, 2 times 9 is 18, 2 times 6 is 12, carry 1 is 3. Now, hopefully we have all of our things in place. That's a 4, that's an 8, that's a 17, that's 8 times 3 is 24, that's 10 and 13, 2, 4, 6, 3, 4. So I think that should be what we have to start with. And so now what we need to do is divide by 5,280. Okay. So 5,280 into 4, 6, 3, 4, 7, 8, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4.123. All right. So what is this going to give us? It's going to give us a headache, it looks like. Now we're going to have to take 5,280 and we're going to have to get into this one. So 5 times what will give us 46? Maybe be close to 8. Let's try 7 and see what we get instead. So 0, 56, 14, 19, 35, 36. Now if we take that and add 5,280, we get 0, that's 14, that's 9, 12, and so that's 11, 12, that's a 4. Okay, so looks like it's going to be maybe an 8. And so we have 4, 2, 2, 4, 0. That's an 8. Subtract that off. 7 minus 0 is 7. 4 minus 4 is 0. 3 minus 2 is 1. 6 minus 2 is 4. And now we can bring down our 8. All right, so now what do we have? 41. Okay, well, that one's too big, so it has to be a 7 now. So good thing we did 7. So that was 36,960. If I can read my writing, that's a 7. Okay. So now we subtract that. That's 8. 7 minus 6 is 1. Now we have to borrow. That's going to give us 10. 10 minus 1 is 10 minus 9 is 1. 10 minus 6 is 4. Now we can bring down our 4. Guess what? We have another 7, it looks like. And so that's 36,960. So that's a 4, that's a 2. Now again, borrow. That's a 10, so that's 9 to 11. And 10 minus 6 is 4. And now we bring down our 0. All right, so now oh, hey, look at that. That's what we need. So we need an 8 here, and that's 42240. And when we subtract that, is that what it really is? 420. Okay, 8778. Okay, so that's going to be 0. And so then it's 0, 0, 0. And so now that seems like I've not done something here, divided unevenly. 3, 6, say 800. Let me think here, because that's going to be a lot of kilometers per hour, and that shouldn't be that many. So what have I done wrong here? All right, I see what I've done wrong. When I did the 4 decimal places here, I forgot to put the 4 decimal places here, so that's just to that point right there. And so really, that was really should be a decimal point there, which put that decimal point there. And so then I really didn't need the rest of that. And so this then is approximately 877.8 kilometers per hour, which sounds a lot better. And that should give me the value I need for this one. So I forgot to do those decimals to move it here to that. All right. I thought it seemed like it was kind of strange, but that's what it was. Okay, so moving to the next one. All right, so it says for the first time, foreigners will be allowed to climb nearly 100 high-altitude Himalayan peaks in the Indian side of Kashmir. Peaks ranging from 9,840 feet to 26,246 feet. And then what we need to do is convert that highest one to meters. And so the highest one is 26246. Oops, that's feet, and we need to convert to meters. All right, so over 1. And so what we have now? Well, what do we want to do for our conversion? Well, let's go all the way to the top again. And feet to meters. So how do we want to do this? We could go several ways. We could go feet to inches, then inches to centimeters, and then centimeters to the what we need meters. That might be the best. So let's do it that way. So let's say we have 1 foot, and that is 12 inches. Whoops, something happened there. 12 inches. And so then we know that 1 inch is 2.54 centimeters. And let's just get into centimeters at this point. And then because we know if we're going to convert to meters, we have our base unit, which is this case meters. And then we have deci, then we have centi. And what we can do is we can just move 1, 2 to get to our meters, okay? So let's just multiply all these together first. That's all we need to do. All right, so 26246 times 12. Let's do that first, I guess. So that's going to give us a 12. That's going to give us 8, 9. That's going to give us a 4. That's going to give us a 12. That's going to give us a 5. Then a 6, a 4, a 2, a 6, and a 2. So 2, that's going to give us a 15. That's going to give us a 9 and a 4 and an 11 and a 3. So now we have 3, 1, 4, 9, 5, 2. And we're going to multiply that by 2.54. Okay. So let's see what we have here. And it's going to give us 2 times 4 is 8. 4 times 5 is 20. That's 36, 37, 38. And that's 16, 17, 18, 19. That's 4, 5. That's 12. Now we multiply by 5, so we just leave that one. So that's going to be a 10. That's 25, 26. That's 45, 46, 47. That's 24. Now we have 5, 6, 7. And we have 12. Now we have 2 spaces. Now we have 4. We have 10. Now we have 18, 19, 8, 9, and then a 2, and then a 6. Now let's see here. We get 8, 0, 18, 17, 19, and another 19, And then we have 2, 4, 6, and then a 7. Let's see here. Is that the right number? Hopefully. All right, so we have 2 decimal places, so that would be there. And so now let's check and see what we have. Okay, so there's a problem here. That should be a 5. So that'll be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's actually a 9. Can I erase? Maybe. Maybe not. So we'll write over it instead. So that's a 9. All right, and so that is 8.08 centimeters. And we move to the left 2, 1, 2. So that gives us an approximate 7,999. And then point, and if we round that up to a tenth, then that's going to be a 0.8 meters. Okay. And so that would be the height of the highest peak there in meters, converting from the 26,246 feet. All right, so that's all I have for you for this section. And again, this one's a little more harder because we're converting English and metric. And so then we have those hard conversions in the English American system. And so that's going to be where it's going to have a lot more work caused for you.